All right, so I wanted to introduce you to Sue, who's one of the senior VAs on my team, also part of our leadership team. Sue, what we're doing here is just giving our clients and would-be team members an insight into what life is like as a VA. So thank you so much for offering / being told to do this.
Nice to be here.
I really appreciate it. So first of all, can you tell us why you wanted to be a VA? What put being a VA on your radar?
My initial motivation was I wanted to quit my 9 to 5, marching off to the office, dressing, commuting, sitting at an office. I wanted to move from that to a more flexible lifestyle so that I could work it into and alongside my dreams to travel. I've been a lifelong traveler, and getting into retirement age, I wanted to have one last good go at some world travel with my husband and do some house sitting and do some working that would work into that kind of lifestyle. So initially it was how to escape from the daily grind, have a more flexible lifestyle where I could work and travel, work anywhere in the world, and still be able to contribute and be active and use the skills that I've honed through a long career, and just move from being an employee to working for myself. So that was my motivation.
Oh, and how was it traveling while working as a VA?
Sorry, Justin.
That's all right.
I'm an interview. Do you mind?
Oh, a problem with the
Justin, can you pause the recording? I'm sorry.
Hang on. Okay, so we're just resuming this interview. Life as a VA means that you're working from home and it's real and there are interruptions. So, Sue, welcome back.
Sorry about that.
Don't be sorry. So getting back to your dream of doing a really big overseas travel with your husband and working while you were overseas. How did that go? What were the challenges?
There were some pretty enormous challenges at first. So I signed on with your virtual assistant. The same day I started really my very first house sitting gig. And so it was rather stressful. I was in Dunedin, and in the country in Dunedin, looking after a lifestyle block. And at the same time, I was trying to figure out what being a VA was. The client I had been paired with within my first month on the job as a VA required zero assistance. I'd never done bookkeeping, never obviously seen Xero before. So there were some enormous learning curves I had to wrap my arms around really quickly. Having to do with the VA role, and also having to fold it into a whole new life role of being a house sitter, and all the complexities that go around those things. So big learning curve on what it means to be a VA, how to be self-sufficient at home. I was so used to sitting in a corporate office surrounded by like an HR department, an IT department, and operations and marketing. I always had those services wrapped around me, and now all of a sudden I was a one-man band. So just a pretty huge learning curve. Also trying to break away from that employee mindset and really start thinking about a business as a business owner, as a self-employed person. It takes a whole different mindset, and if you've worked all your life, as I had as an employee, it's really difficult to break away from that employee mindset. IT challenges, my gosh, I had lots of IT challenges, trying to get my system set up, get multiple screens operating, just those types of things that I'd always kind of had the IT support always available to me that I didn't have anymore. What else? Then ongoing challenges as you start working through, okay, now you know what being a VA is, how to be disciplined around tracking your time and minimizing unbillable time. One of the biggest challenges of being a VA is how do you really utilize your time to maximum efficiency so you're not doing hours and hours of unbillable time you can't bill for. It's unavoidable, it happens, but you've got to try and minimize it. So those were my biggest challenges in the beginning, and some of them are ongoing challenges. I have ongoing IT challenges, ongoing unbillable challenges. The learning curve is daily. Every new client brings new learning curves. So yeah, it's challenging, but it's rewarding as well.
And on an aside, it's a testament to your character and your skill set that we bypassed our normal onboarding process. And like you said, in your first month, you were asked to jump in with a client who wasn't happy for a number of reasons, and you knew that the pressure was on you. And yeah, you really stepped up, Sue. So
yeah, it was a little bit overwhelming, but at the same time, I always knew that you had my back and my support, and you did wrap some supports around me. I worked alongside another Xero expert on the team, and she helped me get up and running in Xero and helped me to understand bookkeeping, the basics of it. So yeah, I wasn't alone. I did have supports from your agency, and that was really, really super appreciated at the time. But I remember doing, so my first client I had, I was, as I say, doing the bookkeeping and payroll. And I remember we were in France, in Paris, and I remember having to meet a payroll deadline because we were working on New Zealand deadlines, and I was up at midnight doing payroll. And so things like that were challenging, but not insurmountable. I mean, you just had to figure your way around them, because at the end of the day, my clients were in New Zealand, and no matter where I was in the world, I had to be working. I had to deliver to their New Zealand deadlines and their time frames. So yeah, all doable.
So you've been working with us for a little while now. What have the highlights been in working as a VA?
Just being kind of in control of your own destiny. You're now self-employed, and so that brings a flexibility to your life, which I really, really like. The highlights, gosh, I'm proud of what I've learned, making the transition from employee to a contractor kind of self-employed type of role. So I'm proud of everything I've learned along the way in the last 3 years of being a VA. Highlights have been working with just a wonderful team at your virtual assistant. The team.
I paid you to say that, eh?
The team has a multitude of skills, and it's just really comforting to know that if you aren't an expert in something, you can call upon the team and get support. You can delegate, which has really been a great thing for me. And learning how to delegate has also been another learning curve for me, but I've embraced it fully. What else? Just knowing that another highlight is knowing that I'm contributing to a client's business. I'm just helping to make my client's life easier so they can get on and do what they need to do to grow their business or whatever they need to do at a higher level, while I'm taking care of the operational type daily tasks. So it's comforting and rewarding to know that you contribute in some way to their business. The overarching highlight of being able to work from home. I share my office with my beloved cat, and he's got his own bed in my office. He wanders across my desk at any time. He'll sit on my lap while I'm in a meeting. So it's been that's been a highlight to be able to sit in my office and have my cat nearby. So lots of rewards, lots of highlights. But just it's a way of life for me being a VA now, and I really enjoy it.
So if you look back to when you were working in the corporate space as an employee to now, what's been the biggest change?
Well, okay, so yeah, moving from a corporate life to a VA life, working from home. Yeah, the biggest change was not having to commute. I actually hated the daily grind of commuting. I used to work in Auckland Central, and I would get on the train every day from Swanson out west and have an hour commute by train. I didn't mind the commute because I could read, but also you have to dress for work, so it's not having to dress for work, not having to commute. Things I did miss were obviously not having the IT support, the HR, all the wraparound supports that a corporate office brings you. Just learning how to work by yourself and be self-sufficient. I'm pretty self-sufficient and pretty resourceful normally, so that came pretty easily. So yeah, it was a big change for me, but a very welcome change for me. I spent many years in a corporate environment doing that, and I was more than happy to let it go.
So if you could give someone who's looking at becoming a VA one piece of advice, what would that be? Or what's something that you might have done different knowing what you know now? Sorry, that's a tricky question.
Yeah, I've got lots of pieces of advice.
Choose one.
I would say have a good, honest, hard look at yourself to make sure you're cut out for it, because there's lots of pieces. If you're a real social person, will you miss working physically in an office with people? Will you be comfortable and happy working all by yourself? It can be pretty isolating working from home, by yourself, for yourself. So yeah, I would just really examine whether that role really fits you. I mean, you might have all the skills in the world. You've got to be able to obviously work closely with clients, so you've got to have some kind of customer service basics and abilities, yeah, just really being honest with yourself. Are you disciplined enough? Can you hold yourself accountable to deadlines and to commitments? Yeah, do you have a growth mindset? Are you willing to learn lots of new tools? You'll have to be a VA. It's constant learning. You've got to be able to embrace that. You've got to be really creative and resourceful, finding solutions for yourself and for your clients. And if you don't know the answers, know where to go to find them, or ask people know. Knowing how to set boundaries around your work life when you're working from home. Also another important thing of, how to prioritize work hours, set them aside from your family time, putting boundaries around your personal availability when you're working from home.
Do you find it harder to switch off now that you're working from home as when you used to train in?
No, I don't. I mean, I've worked at it. It didn't come naturally at first, but after 3 years of working as a VA, I've become really quite good at looking at my watch, and if it's near 5 o'clock, time to stop, shut off my computer. All my notifications are off on my phone or my iPad, so I don't get things in the evening with work stuff. So I'm really pretty disciplined about how I work and my hours of work. I usually start work at 9 o'clock in the morning. After I've given myself me time between 7 and 9 in the morning, I come to work ready to work. And I stop around noon every day, and I take me time to exercise and have, a little more downtime. and then back to work in the afternoon and finish by 5. So I've become really quite disciplined about it, and that's taken practice, to be honest. I wasn't that way at first. I was, especially when I was traveling, I had to work weird hours when I was traveling overseas.
Yeah.
But now that I'm home in New Zealand, it's a lot easier to work to a structured timetable schedule and keep myself, sane, and work when work is appropriate and take time off when it's appropriate.
Well, I think that's it. So, have you got anything else that you'd like to share?
No, other than maybe an interesting fact of what people don't know about me. As I said, I did a lot of house sitting 3 years ago when I started as a VA. And an interesting fact that people might not know about me is that while we were house sitting in the Greek islands, I was midwife to 3 nanny goats. On my watch, gave birth to 6 kids. So I'm not only a house sitter, a VA.
You're a midwife.
A wife, a mother. I'm a midwife as well.
And an uncertified veterinarian.
Yeah. So that all came naturally because I'm a sheep farmer's daughter. So from way back, I was helping on the farm, birthing lambs. So it all helped. My life experience helped with that.
Living your best life.
Yeah.
Most people don't go to the Greek islands to give birth to goats, do look, thank you so much for sharing that and sharing your story and the wins and challenges and frustrations of being a VA.
I hope I didn't put anyone off. It's really quite a good life, and it can make it suit you. It's not perfect for everyone, but you can figure out how you fit into it and make it fit you.
Yeah. I think what you touched on as being so important is having discipline around your work and your life balance.
Yeah.
And I think knowing your boundaries and being able to say no.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, especially when you're working from home and you are isolated. It's important to feel confident and know that you're doing a fabulous job. So yeah, and you do. And you paid me to say that.
Yeah.
Look, thank you so much. And I look forward to putting this up on our website and sharing with everyone else.
Oh.